You begin by noticing something small, something so ordinary that your eyes might pass over it without thought, a single leaf. It rests there, perhaps on a tree outside your window, perhaps in the memory of a walk through the park. It is quiet, unmoving, except for the soft tremble when a breeze passes by. And yet, within this stillness, something remarkable is happening, something that sustains not only the leaf, not only the tree, but you, and me, and every living thing that breathes. The leaf, so delicate and thin, is a silent workshop. Its walls are not built from stone or wood, but from living cells, each one smaller than the smallest grain of sand you could imagine. Inside those cells are tiny green chambers, called chloroplasts. You may picture them as little emerald lanterns, glowing faintly with captured light. They are the stage on which one of the greatest performances of nature unfolds, photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. The word itself feels long, almost heavy on the tongue. But when you break it apart, its meaning is gentle: photo for light, synthesis for putting together. Light, put together. It is the quiet art of transforming sunlight into life. Take a slow breath. Feel the air entering your lungs, expanding your chest, moving into your body. You are, at this very moment, part of the same exchange. The oxygen you inhale has traveled through countless leaves, countless forests, countless green breaths before finding its way to you. The leaf outside your window may be simple and small, but it is part of a vast chorus, a great green tide that refreshes the air with every heartbeat of light. Imagine the sun, distant yet warm, sending its rays across the void of space. Each photon, a tiny packet of light, has traveled for millions of years inside the sun's core before bursting free, racing across 93 million miles, and finally touching the surface of Earth. When one of these rays strikes a leaf, it is not wasted. It is received, held, transformed. You might imagine the leaf as a quiet hand stretched upward, cupping the sun's gift. Inside the chloroplast, the light falls upon pigments, molecules designed like nets, ready to catch the sun. The most famous of these pigments is chlorophyll, the one that paints the leaf green. Chlorophyll absorbs light, especially the reds and blues, while reflecting back the green that meets your eye. What you see as color is simply what the leaf does not need, returned to you as a gift of beauty. Now, close your eyes and picture this. Within the leaf, the energy of light does not vanish, it begins to move. It excites electrons, tiny sparks within atoms, setting them into motion. These motions are passed along like whispers in a chain, creating a gentle flow of energy. This is how sunlight becomes useful, how raw light becomes something that can power the very chemistry of life. But light alone is not enough. The leaf also draws in water, lifted up through the tree's roots, each droplet pulled upward through slender tubes like a straw. This water, gathered from rain, river, or dew, enters the leaf and waits for the moment when light will split it apart. Imagine water as a companion with 2 arms of hydrogen and 1 head of oxygen. In the leaf's workshop, the bond is gently broken. The hydrogens are saved, tucked into the process, while the oxygen is set free, released into the air. The air you breathe tonight contains this oxygen. In fact, much of it was born from oceans of ancient plants, billions of years ago, when Earth's skies were first filled with breathable air. Before plants learned this trick, the atmosphere was different, unwelcoming. It was only after countless green breaths, spread across time, that life as you know it became possible. Pause here, and think. Every inhale you take is a conversation with the past. Every exhale you release is part of a future breath. The leaf, in its quietness, is speaking to you, not in words, but in the very air between you and the night. Still, the process does not end with light and water. The leaf also draws in carbon dioxide, an invisible gas drifting through the air around you. You cannot see it, but you exhale it every moment. To plants, it is not waste but treasure. Carbon dioxide enters the leaf through tiny pores, called stomata, which open and close like gentle mouths. Inside, the carbon is welcomed, combined with hydrogen and energy from the sun, reshaped into sugars, the food that fuels not just the plant but nearly every creature on Earth. And here, in this quiet weaving, you see the great circle. The plant exhales what you need. You exhale what it needs. Your breath and its breath are entwined, each depending on the other, like partners in an endless dance. Now, let your mind wander across a forest. Picture the trees, each one filled with countless leaves. Picture grasses stretching across plains, vines curling in hidden jungles, mosses spread across stones. Each green surface is performing the same silent miracle, millions upon millions of times, with no rush, no noise, no demand for recognition. It is so easy to overlook, yet it is everywhere. This is why Earth is called the blue and green planet, blue for the water that flows, green for the leaves that breathe. Without the gentle breath of photosynthesis, there would be no oxygen to fill your lungs, no food to nourish your body, no life to surround you. Let this thought settle. The green breath is also your breath. The leaf's rhythm is your rhythm. Every tree you have ever walked past has already touched your life, even if you never noticed. And so, as you rest, the leaf continues. Even in the dark of night, when the sun has set, it holds within it the memory of the day's light. It waits, quietly, for morning. And you too, in your resting body, wait for the next dawn, when light will once again arrive and begin the cycle anew. Perhaps this is the secret lesson of photosynthesis, that life, at its heart, is not a struggle but a rhythm. Light arrives. Breath flows. Energy is shared. And all you need to do is be part of it, to breathe in, to breathe out, to trust that the world around you is already working in harmony. As you drift into sleep, hold on to this gentle thought. Outside your window, leaves are still breathing, forests are still alive with quiet chemistry, and the air that fills your lungs is not yours alone but a gift passed through countless green hands. You are connected. You are part of the gentle breath of green. And tomorrow, when the sun rises again, the leaves will stretch upward once more, ready to turn light into life, ready to weave another day into the fabric of the world. You awaken, gently, into the warmth of light. Even if your eyes are closed, you can sense the day through the touch of the sun upon your skin. Light is not heavy, yet it carries something deeper than weight. It carries warmth, life, and memory. Each beam that touches the earth has traveled across the emptiness of space, carrying the golden heart of the sun to this very moment. The journey of light is almost unthinkable. A single particle of sunlight, a photon, is born deep inside the sun's core. There, pressure and heat are so immense that hydrogen atoms are pressed together, fused into helium, and in that fusion, energy is released. That energy becomes light. But before the photon reaches the surface, it spends thousands, even millions of years bouncing, scattering, wandering through the dense layers of the sun. When it finally escapes, it races outward across space at the speed of light, a journey of just over 8 minutes before it greets the waiting Earth. Now imagine, every morning, when dawn stretches across the horizon, billions of these photons arrive at once, pouring over mountains, oceans, forests, and your own quiet body. You may see it as brightness, as the start of day, but to the leaf, sunlight is more than beauty. To the leaf, light is food, is energy, is life itself. Inside the leaf, light is received by pigments, tiny, specialized molecules arranged carefully within each chloroplast. You already know the name of the most famous pigment, chlorophyll. It is chlorophyll that gives the leaf its green color, and it is chlorophyll that acts as the gatekeeper of light. Picture it as a net spread wide, catching rays of sunlight the way a fisherman gathers silver fish from the sea. When chlorophyll catches a photon, something magical happens. An electron inside the molecule becomes excited, lifted to a higher state of energy. That electron is passed along a series of other molecules, one to the next, like a spark moving across a chain of lanterns. This movement is called the electron transport chain, but you need not hold on to the name. Instead, picture it simply as a river of energy, flowing gently yet powerfully through the heart of the leaf. This river of energy is what transforms light into something useful. It is as if the raw brightness of the sun is being reshaped, softened, and stored, so that the plant may hold it long after the sun has set. The light, split into energy, becomes gold within the leaf's grasp. But the story of pigments does not end with chlorophyll alone. There are others, quieter but equally important: carotenoids, which catch the light in shades of orange and yellow, anthocyanins, which hold the reds and purples. These pigments not only extend the range of light the plant can use but also protect the delicate machinery of the cell from harm. For light, though life-giving, can also burn. The pigments act as guardians, ensuring that the leaf drinks only what it needs. Now, picture the forest. A patchwork of leaves, each turned toward the sky, each balancing between hunger and protection. Some leaves are broad and thin, eager to catch as much light as possible. Others are narrow or shaded, designed to survive with less. All are reading the sun, interpreting its language, translating its brilliance into the quiet currency of life. As you breathe slowly, consider how your body too has learned to interpret sunlight. Not in the same way as plants, but still dependent. The warmth of light guides your circadian rhythm, the gentle clock inside you that knows when to sleep, when to wake, when to dream. Sunlight touches your skin, helping it create vitamin D, strengthening your bones, calming your mind. You, too, are a child of light, though you do not hold it in your veins the way a leaf does. Let your thoughts drift now to the balance of day and night. When sunlight floods the leaf, it is stored, carefully, as sugars. This is not unlike a traveler saving coins for the journey ahead. At night, when the sun is gone, the leaf does not despair. It unwraps the sugars it has made, spending them quietly to survive until dawn. In this way, the leaf holds the sun's memory inside itself, carrying day into night. It is humbling, isn't it, to realize that a blade of grass or a towering oak has become a master of energy far more efficient than any human invention. The leaf takes what is abundant, what is freely given, light, water, air, and turns it into life. Our own machines, our panels of glass and silicon, are only just beginning to copy what plants have been doing effortlessly for billions of years. Now, slow your breathing, and picture the sun setting. The sky softens, gold giving way to amber, amber to violet, violet to the deep indigo of night. Even as the last rays disappear, their work is not lost. The energy they gave has been caught, split, stored in the green tissues of earth. Somewhere, in a quiet forest or in the smallest patch of moss, the day's sunlight still lingers, hidden within sugars, hidden within leaves. And here is a comforting thought. Every meal you have ever eaten, every fruit, every grain, every seed, is sunlight, stored and shared. The apple you bite, the bread you taste, even the milk in your glass, all are echoes of photosynthesis, all are sunlight translated into nourishment. To eat is, in a quiet way, to consume the sun. As you drift closer to sleep, remember this, you are already filled with light. Every muscle that moves, every thought that sparks in your mind, is powered by the same photons that once traveled from the sun. You are not separate from the sun's journey, you are part of it. And tomorrow, when the dawn arrives once more, the sun will begin again, scattering its gold across the earth. The leaves will stretch upward to catch it, pigments will hum their quiet work, and the river of electrons will flow again. The day will be renewed, the cycle will continue, and life will once again be lit from within. For now, though, you rest. The sun has already done its work, and the leaf has already stored its gift. You need only breathe slowly, softly, knowing that within you, and around you, sunlight has already been split into gold. Close your eyes and think of water. Perhaps you imagine a river gliding slowly between stones, or rain tapping gently at your window, or the cool taste of a sip against your lips. Water is constant, everywhere, always moving, always needed. Your body is made mostly of it, your breath carries its moisture, your very cells swim within it. Without water, there is no life. Plants know this truth more deeply than anyone. Long before you or I walked this earth, long before animals filled the seas or skies, the first plants began to rise from water itself. Even now, they are still bound to it. A leaf, no matter how green, cannot live without the invisible rivers of water that flow through its veins. Beneath the soil, roots stretch downward, searching, spreading, weaving among rocks and grains of earth. Each root hair, thinner than a strand of silk, pulls water inward, drop by drop. These drops begin a long journey upward, rising through narrow tubes inside the stem, pulled not by muscle but by the gentle tug of evaporation, by the quiet thirst of the leaf. Imagine a straw that never ends, a column of water lifted silently from soil to sky. When water finally enters the leaf, it does not rest. It becomes part of the most extraordinary transformation of all, photosynthesis. And here, in the heart of the chloroplast, water is broken apart. Pause for a moment. Breaking water, it sounds violent, yet it is tender, intricate. Each water molecule is made of 3 atoms, 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen. For most of time, they cling together, inseparable companions. But inside the leaf, sunlight gives the energy needed to part them. The hydrogen is set aside, stored as fuel, while the oxygen is released. This is the great generosity of plants, they give away what they do not need. That oxygen, drifting upward through the tiny pores of the leaf, becomes the very air you breathe. Take a slow breath now. Feel your chest rise, your lungs fill, your blood carry oxygen to every waiting cell. What enters you is the gift of broken water, released from the patient work of leaves. It is easy to forget that oxygen is not eternal. There was a time, billions of years ago, when Earth's skies held almost none. The air was heavy with other gases, unwelcoming to creatures like us. It was only through countless cycles of photosynthesis, through the steady breaking of water and release of oxygen, that Earth's atmosphere was transformed. The air you breathe tonight is part of that legacy. You are, in every inhale, tied to ancient oceans of algae, to forests long gone, to plants still growing now. Imagine the journey of a single droplet. Perhaps it began as rainfall, falling softly from the sky, slipping into the soil. Drawn upward into roots, carried through stem and vein, it enters a leaf. There, sunlight touches it, and in an instant, it is changed. Its hydrogen joins the hidden machinery of energy making. Its oxygen drifts outward, perhaps into the air above the forest, perhaps into your lungs tonight. That one droplet, once ordinary, has now become part of you. This sharing is endless. Water cycles through the planet in a rhythm as old as time. What you drink today may have once been part of a cloud, or a glacier, or a stream in a forest centuries ago. What a plant releases tonight may become tomorrow's rainfall, feeding another tree, another field, another life. Water is always moving, always shared, always broken and remade. Let your mind rest on this thought. The same molecule of water can pass through a mountain stream, into the roots of a pine, into the air of a rainforest, into your own body, and back again. Every sip you take is part of an unbroken story, linking you to oceans, forests, and skies. Inside the leaf, the hydrogen from water does not disappear. It is tucked into the deeper chemistry of photosynthesis, combined with carbon dioxide to create sugars. These sugars become the building blocks of wood, of fruit, of grain. They are stored energy, little packets of sunlight and water woven together. And when you eat an apple, or bread, or rice, you are tasting that union, the marriage of light, air, and broken water. Now imagine standing in a forest after rain. The air feels rich, cool, damp. Every leaf holds droplets, shining like tiny jewels. Some of those droplets will fall back to the soil, some will evaporate into the air, and some will enter the leaf, beginning the cycle anew. You are breathing in that damp air, oxygen carried on mist, released only hours ago. The forest itself seems alive with breath, with exchange, with invisible generosity. This quiet breaking of water is not only a gift but also a reminder. It shows us that destruction can be creative, that in the gentle parting of bonds, new life can begin. What seems like loss, water split apart, becomes abundance. Oxygen for your lungs, sugars for your body, energy for your world. As you rest now, think of the leaves outside, perhaps moving in the night breeze. Even in darkness, they are filled with the memory of the sun, ready for the next day's work. They will take in water again, break it, share it, and continue the rhythm that sustains all life. You are part of that rhythm. With every breath you take, you honor the gift of broken water. With every exhale, you give back what the plant needs, carbon dioxide, the gas it will weave into sugars. You and the leaf are partners, bound in a quiet exchange that has lasted for ages. And so, as sleep draws near, imagine yourself floating gently on a river. The water carries you softly, breaking into ripples, reforming, always moving. Just as water is broken and shared, so too is your life part of the greater flow. You rest in its current, safe, connected, carried onward. The night deepens, but the cycle does not end. Somewhere, water is still being lifted, still being broken, still being shared. And tomorrow, when the sun returns, the leaves will once again take up their quiet work, releasing fresh oxygen into the waiting air, keeping the rhythm of life alive. Take a slow breath in. Hold it gently for a moment. Then let it go. That breath you released is not empty, it carries carbon dioxide, a quiet, invisible traveler. It slips into the air around you, mixing with the winds, drifting among trees, rivers, and skies. Though unseen, it is everywhere, one of the most ancient and constant dances in the story of life. Carbon itself is an old companion. It was born in the hearts of stars, long before Earth was even formed. When those stars died, they scattered their carbon into the universe, seeding clouds of dust that would one day gather into planets, oceans, and living things. Every atom of carbon in your body, in your bones, your muscles, your thoughts, began as stardust. And now, here it is, moving through you, leaving your lungs, entering the air once again. Plants see this invisible dancer differently. To you, carbon dioxide may seem like waste, something your body discards. But to the leaf, it is treasure. The leaf waits with tiny pores, called stomata, which open and close like breathing mouths. Through these small gates, carbon dioxide enters the green chambers of the chloroplast, ready to join the quiet chemistry of photosynthesis. Once inside, the carbon becomes part of a graceful cycle, often called the Calvin cycle. But do not be concerned with the name, think of it instead as a gentle dance, repeated over and over, patient and rhythmic. Each step of the dance reshapes the carbon, weaving it together with hydrogen and energy from sunlight. Slowly, carefully, it is transformed into sugar. Pause for a moment and imagine this. Carbon dioxide drifts into a leaf, a shapeless gas, intangible, almost nothing. Yet within the span of moments, it is given form. It becomes glucose, a simple sugar with 6 carbon atoms at its core. That sugar may travel through the plant, feeding roots, building wood, swelling into fruit. And later, it may travel into you, becoming the energy that lifts your hand, beats your heart, or carries your thoughts toward sleep. In this way, carbon dances between worlds, from air to leaf, from leaf to body, from body back to air. It never vanishes, never truly ends. It is passed, transformed, carried onward in endless motion. You and the tree, the bird and the river, the mountain and the soil, all are joined by this same flowing carbon, reshaping itself through time. Think of a forest now. With every breath, the trees draw in carbon dioxide, holding it, weaving it into wood and bark, root and branch. Entire trunks are libraries of carbon, storing the memory of decades, centuries. When you rest your hand against a tree, you are touching air that once drifted freely long ago, now captured and preserved within living wood. Carbon does not only flow upward into trees, it also moves downward into soil. When leaves fall, when roots decay, when grasses return to the earth, their carbon joins the dark richness of the ground. There it may linger, feeding microbes, enriching the soil, or waiting silently for ages. Some carbon even becomes stone, locked away as limestone, or buried deep as coal. The dance of carbon can be quick, flowing with every breath, or slow, unfolding across millennia. As you listen now, consider this: every meal you have ever eaten is also part of this dance. The grains of bread, the sweetness of fruit, the green of vegetables, all are shaped by carbon that once floated in the air. Each bite is a piece of atmosphere, transformed into nourishment by plants. And when your body uses that energy, the carbon is released again, returning to the air with every exhale. You are not separate from this cycle, you are one of its dancers. Sometimes, the dance becomes unbalanced. When too much carbon is released too quickly, the air grows heavy, the climate shifts, the earth warms. Yet even here, plants offer balance. They continue their quiet work, taking in what you release, reminding us of the harmony that is possible when cycles are respected, when exchanges are honored. Now, soften your breath again. Inhale deeply. Feel the oxygen entering your body, a gift of leaves. Exhale slowly. Feel the carbon dioxide leaving you, a gift for the plants. This is not just breathing, it is a conversation. You speak, and the plants reply. They take what you offer, and they give back what you need. It is an endless dialogue, gentle and silent, binding your life to theirs. And here is the wonder: the carbon you just released may, in time, become part of a towering oak, or a cluster of grapes, or the petal of a flower yet to bloom. The atoms within you may someday shine again in the green of a leaf or the sweetness of fruit. You are not apart from the world. You are woven into its cycles, carried in its breath, written into its dance. As you drift toward rest, hold this thought close: the carbon within you is ancient, older than mountains, older than oceans, older even than earth itself. Tonight, it leaves you softly, carried into the night air, and tomorrow it may find a new home in the quiet body of a leaf. The dance continues, endless and eternal. And you, in your breathing body, are already part of it. Close your eyes and imagine sweetness. Not just the taste of sugar on your tongue, but the idea of sweetness itself, the ripeness of fruit, the golden softness of honey, the warmth of bread. All of this, in the end, begins with a leaf. Inside the quiet green chambers of photosynthesis, sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide have already been gathered, shaped, and transformed. Out of this invisible chemistry, a small, simple molecule is born: glucose. You may know it as sugar. To the plant, it is food, energy, and possibility. To the world, it is an architect, shaping forests, fields, and even the body you rest within now. Glucose is humble. A small hexagon of atoms, 6 carbons arranged like beads in a circle, stitched together with hydrogen and oxygen. Yet within this small structure lies a power greater than any jewel or stone, the power to store sunlight. When the plant makes glucose, it is holding onto light in a form that can last, a form that can travel, a form that can build. Think of a forest, vast and green. Every towering trunk, every spreading branch, every falling leaf began as glucose. Sugars flow from leaf to root, carried in veins of sap, feeding every part of the plant. Some sugars are spent immediately, fueling growth, powering the hidden engines of the cell. Others are stored, linked together into long chains to make starch, tucked away in roots, seeds, or tubers, waiting for a season of need. And some are stretched into even stronger chains, woven into cellulose, the very fabric of wood. Imagine, then, every tree you have ever touched is sunlight turned into sugar, and sugar turned into structure. A trunk is a library of stored sugars, layered into wood over years and centuries. When you lean against a tree, you are leaning against sunlight captured long ago, transformed into solid form by the patience of leaves. But sugars do not remain only with plants. They travel outward, flowing into animals, into humans, into you. When you bite into an apple, you taste the sweetness of glucose and fructose, sugars made from carbon once drifting invisibly in the air. When you eat bread, you are tasting starch, the stored memory of a field of wheat. Every meal, whether sweet or savory, is built on the foundation of plant sugars, silent architects hidden within each bite. Let yourself notice your body now. Your heart beats steadily, your lungs rise and fall, your thoughts drift gently. All of this is powered by sugars. In your cells, glucose is broken down, piece by piece, releasing the energy that was once sunlight. That energy becomes the spark of your movement, the warmth of your body, the hum of your thoughts. You are, in a quiet way, still living on light, still shaped by sugars made in leaves. Think of how universal this is. A bee sipping nectar is fueled by glucose. A bird pecking at berries is fed by sugars. A child running through a field is powered by starch from grains. All life, in one way or another, is built upon the same foundation. Sugars are the great connectors, the hidden threads that tie forests to oceans, soil to sky, leaf to body. There is poetry, too, in how plants share their sugars. A tree may send extra glucose down to its roots, feeding hidden fungi in the soil. In return, the fungi give back minerals the tree cannot reach alone. This quiet partnership, this trade of sugar for sustenance, nourishes entire ecosystems. Sugars are not hoarded, they are given, passed along, spread outward in unseen generosity. And when sugars build bodies, they do more than fuel, they create. Glucose, linked in endless chains, becomes cellulose, the tough walls of plant cells. From this, forests rise, grasses spread, fruits swell, and flowers bloom. Sugars, though small, are architects of great beauty. They hold the blueprint of the natural world, shaping not only what you see but what you breathe, what you eat, what you are. Now, think again of sweetness. Perhaps the taste of fruit on your tongue, or the comfort of warm tea. That sweetness is more than flavor, it is memory. It is the echo of a summer's sun, stored in molecules, carried across time, released as taste, as nourishment, as joy. Every sweetness is a reminder, you are tasting light, woven into sugar by a leaf that once reached toward the sky. There is also balance. Too much sugar, stored unwisely, can harm the body. Yet in harmony, sugar is life. It is rhythm, it is motion, it is warmth. Plants know this balance intimately. They spend their sugars carefully, building, storing, sharing. They are architects not only of their own bodies but of the world's energy. As you breathe now, let yourself feel the quiet architecture of sugars within you. Every cell, every thought, every heartbeat is shaped by their presence. You are, in truth, a continuation of the leaf's work. The sugars it made have traveled into you, powering the softness of this very moment. And tomorrow, when the sun rises again, leaves will continue their work. They will take in light, break apart water, welcome carbon, and weave it all into sugars. The architects will not rest, they will go on building, patiently, endlessly, silently. Rest with this thought, you are living in a house built by sugars. The walls of trees, the food on your plate, the strength of your own muscles, all are shaped by this quiet architecture. Sugars may be simple, but they are the foundation of life's cathedral, a structure too vast and beautiful for the eye to see all at once. As you drift toward sleep, imagine a leaf in sunlight. Inside it, glucose is being born, molecule by molecule, silent and unseen. Those sugars may become a fruit, a seed, a forest, or perhaps the breath and movement of your own body. In this way, you are part of the same architecture, another room within life's endless structure. The architects are still at work, even now. They build without sound, without rest, without end. And you, already shaped by their hands, can let yourself rest, knowing that the architecture of sugars holds you, supports you, and carries you gently forward. Close your eyes and imagine a marketplace, not made of stalls or coins, but of living cells. Within this market, everything has a cost, a thought, a heartbeat, a blink of your eye, even the slow renewal of your skin. To pay these costs, your body uses not gold, not silver, but a different kind of currency, ATP. ATP. 3 small letters, standing for adenosine triphosphate. A mouthful of a word, yet as simple and necessary to life as breath itself. Every cell in your body, every moment of your day, spends this molecule the way a town spends coins. Without it, the market would fall silent. Muscles would not move. Nerves would not fire. The story of life would stop. And where does this currency come from? It is minted by sugars, those silent architects you met before. Glucose, once made by leaves, once carried in fruit and grain, is broken down inside your cells. In tiny powerhouses called mitochondria, glucose is traded, transformed, and turned into ATP. Each piece of sugar can be exchanged for dozens of ATP coins, ready to be spent wherever energy is needed. Imagine the mitochondria as glowing forges, tucked within each of your cells. They take in glucose, they breathe in oxygen, and they release ATP like sparks, like embers. These coins flow outward, carried into every part of you. To lift your arm, thousands of ATP are spent in a blink. To send a single nerve signal from your eye to your brain, more coins are used. Even as you lie here, resting, billions upon billions of ATP are spent every second, keeping the market of your body alive. The beauty of ATP is in its design. It holds 3 tiny phosphate groups, like pearls strung together. The last pearl is held with a bond full of tension, a coil of potential waiting to spring free. When the bond is broken, energy rushes out, smooth and silent, ready to power whatever work is needed. It is not fire. It is not thunder. It is a whisper of energy, released exactly where it must be, exactly when it is needed. Think of it as a lantern lit within you. Each flame is small, but countless lanterns burn together, lighting the cathedral of your body. You do not see them, yet they are there, flickering with every breath, every thought. ATP is the oil that feeds these flames. Without it, the lanterns would darken. With it, they glow ceaselessly, softly, eternally, until life itself is done. And yet, ATP is never stored in vast amounts. Unlike gold in a treasury, it must be earned and spent almost instantly. Your body makes it in rhythm with your needs, like water flowing from a spring only when you drink. This ensures a balance, a flow, a cycle without waste. In a single day, your cells create and spend as much ATP as your body weight. Think of that, a complete turnover, a quiet economy, happening within you every single day. Now, let your imagination wander. Picture the leaves of plants again, weaving glucose from sunlight. Picture your cells, breaking that glucose apart, releasing the energy, minting the ATP coins. And picture how, in spending them, you move, breathe, think, and even dream. You are a link in the chain of energy, sunlight transformed into sugar, sugar into ATP, ATP into life itself. ATP is not only fuel, it is rhythm. The heartbeat of a cell is the making and spending of these molecules. It is a cycle without pause, as steady as tides, as gentle as the turning of seasons. Life is not built from one grand burst of energy but from countless small transactions, quiet exchanges, endless renewals. Let yourself rest in that thought. You do not need to control this economy. You do not need to think of it or manage it. Your cells know. They have always known. From the moment you were born, they have been making and spending ATP without pause, without fail. Even now, as you listen, as you drift, the currency is flowing, the lanterns are burning, the market of your body is alive. In the stillness of night, there is comfort in this unseen activity. While you rest, ATP is being forged, bonds are being broken and remade, energy is being passed hand to hand across the market of your body. Life does not stop when you sleep. It hums gently, tirelessly, a lullaby written in molecules. And when you wake tomorrow, you will rise not because of effort alone, but because of ATP. Your muscles will spend it to stretch, your nerves to spark, your mind to clear. Every new day is funded by this quiet currency. It is your allowance of energy, renewed by the patient work of leaves, the burning of sugars, the flow of oxygen, the hum of mitochondria. Now, as you rest deeper, think of your body as a great city at night. The lamps are lit, the streets are quiet, and yet beneath the stillness, the economy continues. Small shops exchange coins. Silent workers keep the wheels turning. Nothing is wasted, nothing is paused. ATP flows like gentle water through the streets of your cells, ensuring that even in rest, the city of you is alive. And beyond you, the same is true for every creature. A bird in flight spends ATP with each beat of its wings. A fish gliding through water spends ATP in each flick of its tail. Even the smallest bacterium spends ATP to move, to eat, to live. The currency is universal, shared by all of life, binding everything together in a single economy of energy. As you drift, feel yourself part of this great cycle. Your ATP is not separate from the plant's glucose, not separate from the sun's light. It is all one thread, woven across time and space, binding the living world into harmony. You are both spender and receiver, both flame and fuel. You are not apart from life's economy, you are its very expression. Let this soothe you, the work is not yours alone. The molecules know their task. The cycle continues without your effort. The lanterns will burn through the night, the coins will pass hand to hand, and you will rest, carried by the current of energy that has moved through life for billions of years. Tomorrow, the sun will rise again, leaves will turn its light into sugar, and your body will turn that sugar into ATP. The cycle will repeat, endlessly, peacefully, reliably. The energy currency will never run dry while life endures. And you, small yet infinite, are part of this beautiful, unbroken exchange. Rest in that knowledge. The market of your body is open, the coins of energy are flowing, the lanterns are glowing, and life, quiet, gentle, and eternal, carries you forward. Imagine a vast green meadow under the soft light of dawn. The blades of grass shimmer with dew, leaves of trees unfold slowly, and everything seems to hum with a quiet promise. That hum, though you cannot hear it with your ears, is real. It is the song of chlorophyll, the green pigment that gives life to plants and, in turn, gives life to you. Chlorophyll. A word you may remember from school, but here, in the stillness of night, let us meet it anew. It is not just a pigment, not merely color, but a doorway through which sunlight enters the world of life. Without chlorophyll, the sun would shine, but its energy would slip past, unused, unreachable. With chlorophyll, light is captured, held, transformed. It is as though the pigment itself is a harp, and sunlight strikes its strings, creating a song we cannot hear but can live upon. This pigment rests inside the chloroplasts of plant cells, like jewels set within green rooms. Each molecule of chlorophyll is shaped to welcome light, to absorb its energy, to turn a fleeting ray into a lasting gift. It prefers the red and blue parts of sunlight, drinking them in deeply, while reflecting green back to your eyes. That is why a forest looks green, why fields shimmer emerald, why spring brings a flood of verdant color. What you see as green is simply what chlorophyll does not use, the untouched part of the light, shining back at you as a sign of its presence. But the real work happens in silence. When a photon of light, a tiny particle of energy, touches chlorophyll, it excites an electron within. That single leap of an electron begins a cascade, a chain of reactions that flows through the plant's hidden chemistry. It is like the first note of a melody, setting in motion a whole song. From that one spark, water is split, oxygen is released, and sugars are born. Pause and consider this. Every breath you take tonight carries oxygen that was once released by chlorophyll. Every bite of food you have ever eaten was built by the energy that chlorophyll captured. The pigment's song is not heard in sound, but in the rhythm of your lungs, the beating of your heart, the warmth of your body. Chlorophyll's song is also ancient. Billions of years ago, before humans, before animals, even before trees, the first tiny cyanobacteria floated in the oceans. They discovered this pigment, this way of catching light, and with it, they changed the planet. They filled the air with oxygen, paving the way for every creature that would one day breathe. Without chlorophyll, Earth would be a silent, barren stone adrift in space. With it, Earth became blue and green, alive and singing. And yet, chlorophyll is modest. You cannot see its work directly, only the results. The soft green of a leaf hides 1,000 songs of photons being caught and transformed each second. When you look at a tree, you are looking at a symphony in progress, a music too fast, too small, too quiet for human senses. Still, it is there, and it has been playing without pause for more than 2 billion years. Let your mind wander now. Picture sunlight streaming through a forest canopy. Each ray that lands on a leaf is embraced by chlorophyll, drawn into its hidden strings. A photon's journey is brief, just a fraction of a second, but it is enough. Enough to release energy, enough to split water, enough to set in motion the making of sugars. That small act is multiplied by countless leaves, countless moments, until the entire forest hums with a music that sustains the world. You, too, are part of this music. When you walk through a park, when you breathe beneath trees, you are walking within chlorophyll's song. You may not hear it, but your body feels it, in the air you breathe, in the food you eat, in the warmth of your muscles. You are, in truth, an audience and participant in this ancient melody. Chlorophyll even hides secrets within its chemistry. Its structure, a ring of carbon and nitrogen with a magnesium atom at its heart, is remarkably similar to hemoglobin, the molecule in your blood that carries oxygen. Both are pigments, both hold a metal at their center, both are life's way of working with light and air. One colors leaves green, the other colors your blood red, and together they weave the cycle of breathing and feeding, living and growing. It is as though the music of chlorophyll was echoed later in your own body, a harmony between plant and human. And just as every song has pauses, so does chlorophyll's music. In autumn, as days shorten, many plants let go of chlorophyll. The green fades, and other pigments, yellows, oranges, reds, come forward. The music changes, softer, slower, preparing for winter's silence. But it does not end. In spring, chlorophyll returns, the harp is restrung, and the melody of light begins again. Think now of your own rhythms. Just as chlorophyll has seasons of work and rest, so do you. Your day is full of activity, of energy spent and renewed. Your night is for quiet, for slowing, for renewal. Chlorophyll teaches this lesson gently, to sing when there is light, and to rest when darkness comes. As you breathe now, perhaps you feel closer to this pigment, this ancient song that has cradled life for billions of years. You are not separate from it. The oxygen filling your lungs was written into air by chlorophyll. The sugars in your blood began with its work. Even the warmth in your body is second-hand sunlight, caught first by chlorophyll and passed to you. Rest with this thought: the green of leaves is not just color. It is music in visible form, a promise that the song continues. Even when you sleep, leaves on distant trees are singing. Even when the world feels still, chlorophyll is catching light, weaving energy, sustaining breath. And tomorrow, when the sun rises again, the song will begin anew. Rays will strike leaves, chlorophyll will awaken, and the melody of life will play once more. You will breathe it in, taste it in food, feel it in strength. You are already a listener, already a participant, already part of chlorophyll's secret song. Let the song cradle you now. Let its ancient melody wrap around you like a green light, steady and soft. You are safe within it, nourished by it, sustained by it. The music of chlorophyll has never ended, and as you drift into sleep, it continues, quiet, eternal, and infinitely gentle. Close your eyes and picture Earth from far above. A glowing blue sphere, wrapped in swirls of white cloud, its continents cloaked in green. From this distance, it looks like a jewel floating in the silence of space. Yet what gives this planet its living color, its breathable air, its gentle balance, is the quiet work of plants. From the tiniest blade of grass to the tallest tree, their patient labor transforms not only their own lives, but the face of the entire planet. At the heart of this transformation is photosynthesis, the quiet chemistry you have followed leaf by leaf. But here, let us step back. Instead of looking only inside a single cell, let us widen the view until we see oceans, forests, and skies. What begins within chlorophyll flows outward, shaping entire ecosystems, shaping even the atmosphere itself. Plants breathe in carbon dioxide, a gas invisible, drifting, and plentiful. They take in what we release, what animals exhale, what fires and engines produce. They draw it into their leaves, stitch it together with sunlight and water, and transform it into sugars. In doing so, they also release oxygen, the very air your lungs are drawing now. Every breath you take is linked to the green of the world, to the endless exchange between plant and atmosphere. Pause and reflect. The balance of gases in Earth's air, the blend that sustains human life, is no accident. It is the legacy of countless leaves, working in unison for billions of years. Long ago, Earth's skies held little oxygen. The air was thick with carbon dioxide, unbreathable for creatures like you. But with each cycle of photosynthesis, oxygen was added. Slowly, steadily, the air grew rich with it, until animals could rise, until humans could breathe. You live, even now, inside the gift of those ancient plants. Think of the forests, the Amazon, the Congo, the great green belts that circle Earth. Their trees are not only guardians of wood and shade, they are vast lungs, drawing down carbon dioxide and exhaling oxygen. In a single day, an acre of mature trees can produce enough oxygen for dozens of people. The rhythm of your breathing is in harmony with the rhythm of their leaves. You inhale what they release, and they inhale what you exhale. It is a cycle, a partnership, an unspoken promise between plant and planet, between green and flesh. The oceans, too, sing this song. Tiny phytoplankton, invisible to your eyes, drift in sunlit waters. Each one carries chlorophyll, each one captures light, each one breathes oxygen into the sea and sky. Though small, they are countless, and together they make as much as half of Earth's oxygen. Every second breath you take, even far from the sea, may have been given by plankton floating on the tides. This planetary dance does more than feed lungs. It shapes climates, weaves ecosystems, and sets the stage for life itself. Plants capture sunlight, turning it into food. That food becomes the foundation of every chain: the grain that feeds the deer, the grass that feeds the cow, the fruit that feeds the bird, the leaf that feeds the caterpillar. Without plants, the chain would break. The animals would starve. The oceans would empty. Life's pyramid, wide and diverse at its base, would collapse into silence. Even the soil beneath your feet carries the fingerprint of plants. Fallen leaves, roots, and stems decay, returning nutrients to the earth. Their sugars feed fungi and microbes, which in turn recycle minerals, making them available again. The ground becomes a living storehouse, renewed with each season, enriched by each generation of plants. In this way, the soil itself becomes a memory of green life, holding the remains of yesterday to nourish the growth of tomorrow. Now, think of your own body again. The oxygen in your blood, the carbon woven into your muscles, the energy burning in your cells, all of it once flowed through plants. The atoms of your body were once part of leaves, part of air, part of sunlight. To say you are connected to plants is not metaphor, but truth. You are living proof of their work, a continuation of their endless cycle. From plant to planet, the flow continues. Carbon moves from air to leaf, from leaf to sugar, from sugar to seed, to animal, to you. Then, through breath and movement, it returns to the air, where plants welcome it once more. Oxygen flows in the opposite direction, from leaf to air, from air to lung, from lung to blood, to thought, to word, and back again. These cycles have turned for eons, long before you, and they will turn long after. You are part of a pattern as ancient as Earth itself. And yet, like all balances, this one is delicate. Too much carbon dioxide, too few forests, too many broken links, and the song falters. The air grows heavy, the climate shifts, the balance wavers. The health of the planet is tied to the health of its plants. To harm them is to harm the very breath of the earth, the rhythm of life's song. But here, in this quiet moment, let us not dwell on fear. Instead, rest in gratitude. For tonight, the forests still breathe. The oceans still shimmer with plankton. The meadows still hum with chlorophyll's patient work. Life still flows from plant to planet, still sustains you, still cradles your body in your dreams. Imagine drifting now into a green world. A forest canopy spreads above you, the air rich with oxygen, the ground alive with roots. Sunlight filters through leaves, each beam caught, held, and transformed. You breathe deeply, and with each inhale you feel the gift of plants, the breath of the planet, filling you with calm. As you rest, remember this: you are not separate from the earth. You are a child of its cycles, a guest of its forests, a creation of its green breath. From plant to planet, from leaf to lung, life flows in a seamless circle, and you are carried within it. Tomorrow, when the sun rises, the work will begin again. Leaves will open, chlorophyll will sing, sugars will be made, oxygen will flow. The planet will breathe, and so will you. The cycle will continue, steady and eternal, binding you to every tree, every blade of grass, every unseen plankton in the sea. Rest in this connection. Let it soothe you, steady you, cradle you. From plant to planet, the song goes on. You are part of it, always, without end. Close your eyes and imagine a forest at dawn. Mist curls among the trees, dew clings to leaves, and the air is heavy with the quiet promise of life. The forest breathes, not with lungs or hearts, but with countless leaves, each one a tiny organ, a silent partner in a rhythm as old as Earth itself. Tonight, you can join that rhythm. You can feel it, even as you lie still and let your body rest. The breath of a forest is subtle, almost imperceptible, yet vast. Each leaf takes in carbon dioxide, releasing oxygen in return. Each stem and branch directs water from roots to leaves, completing a cycle that supports not only the plant itself but the world around it. Every creature, every molecule of life, depends on this breathing. You, resting here now, are part of that exchange. Your own breath mirrors it, a quiet echo of green lungs reaching skyward. Imagine the trees, towering oaks, ancient pines, slender birches. They are not passive. They are active, living, feeling in their own slow, patient way. Water climbs their trunks through xylem tubes, drawn upward by tiny forces of evaporation and cohesion, nourishing every leaf. Sunlight strikes each chlorophyll molecule, and with a spark of energy, water is split, oxygen released, sugars created. It is a dance as precise as clockwork, yet it has been practiced without pause for millions of years. The forest's breath is more than air. It is movement, it is life, it is memory. Fallen leaves decay, enriching the soil with nutrients. Roots intertwine with fungi, sharing sugars and minerals in a quiet underground network, like a hidden conversation between neighbors. This connection, often called the Wood Wide Web, links tree to tree, species to species, creating a community that is alive in more ways than one. Pause and imagine a single tree. Its crown spreads like an umbrella, catching sunlight, guiding water, creating shade. Each leaf is a site of transformation, each branch a conduit for energy and life. And when you breathe, the oxygen you inhale may have been released by that very tree, minutes, hours, or even days ago. You are inhaling the forest itself. Your lungs, your blood, your cells are all recipients of its quiet generosity. Think now of a rainforest, dense and humid. The air is thick with moisture, rich with oxygen, alive with the songs of life. Every square meter pulses with green activity. Leaves, vines, mosses, ferns, each contributes to the whole, a collective breath that sustains the world. This is not just metaphor, it is fact. Forests regulate climates, store carbon, release water, and stabilize weather. They are the lungs of the planet, literally drawing in carbon dioxide and releasing the oxygen that makes life possible. Even beyond the trees, the forest's breath extends to soil, air, and water. Rainfall caught by leaves drips to the forest floor, nourishing roots and replenishing streams. Oxygen released into the air is carried by the wind across continents. Carbon is absorbed and stored in trunks, leaves, and roots, sometimes for centuries. Every breath you take, every drop of water you drink, every movement of air over your skin is influenced by this silent respiration of forests. Now, consider your own body once again. Your heart beats, your lungs expand, your thoughts flow. All of this is made possible by the oxygen that forests provide. Each inhalation connects you to the life of countless leaves, to trees towering in distant lands, to green life that has existed for millions of years. You are intertwined with these forests, part of their eternal cycle, cradled by their rhythm. And yet, forests are fragile. Deforestation, fires, pollution, these disturb the rhythm, slow the breath, and reduce the oxygen that sustains you. Each tree lost is more than wood removed, it is a lung silenced, a cycle interrupted. But here, in this quiet moment, we can honor their presence, imagining each tree alive, breathing, continuing its work. By resting, by appreciating, by imagining, we participate in their rhythm. Picture now walking through a forest at night. Moonlight filters through leaves, shadows stretch over roots, and the air is still except for the soft murmur of water or the rustle of a nocturnal creature. Even in darkness, the forest breathes. Photosynthesis pauses without sunlight, but respiration continues. Oxygen and carbon dioxide continue their exchange, silently, steadily, ensuring life persists. The forest never truly sleeps. Its breath is ceaseless, eternal, patient beyond human comprehension. Each forest has its own voice, its own tempo. A temperate forest breathes differently than a tropical rainforest, a boreal forest differently than a mangrove swamp. Yet all share the same basic rhythm: inhale carbon dioxide, exhale oxygen, cycle water, store sugars, nurture life. And in this variety, there is harmony, a testament to the adaptability and resilience of nature. Imagine for a moment the vastness of these rhythms. An oak in North America, a eucalyptus in Australia, a cedar in Lebanon, all breathing, all contributing to the planet's cycles. Their breaths, though separated by continents and oceans, collectively sustain life everywhere. You, resting quietly, are carried by their unseen rhythm, part of a network that spans the globe, invisible yet tangible, ancient yet ever-renewing. Now, let yourself drift into the quiet details. A leaf, tiny yet powerful, opens its stomata, welcoming carbon dioxide, releasing oxygen. Water evaporates gently, pulling more liquid upward from roots. Sugars are produced, stored, or shared with neighboring plants through hidden fungal networks. Each moment is a miracle of energy exchange, a song of transformation. And though unseen, this song is as real as the air filling your lungs, as real as the pulse in your veins. As you breathe deeply now, imagine inhaling the forest itself. Feel the oxygen coursing through your blood, imagine it flowing to every cell. Imagine each molecule of carbon in your exhale being welcomed by a leaf, recycled, transformed, and returned to the world. You are part of the forest's breath. You are both recipient and contributor, participant and witness. The forest's rhythm is calming, steady, and eternal. Unlike human life, it does not hurry, it does not panic. It adapts, it flows, it persists. This is a lesson for your own rest, there is wisdom in patience, in slow cycles, in ceaseless but gentle rhythm. As the forest breathes, you can breathe with it, letting your body and mind align with this natural cadence. And as sleep draws near, imagine yourself lying beneath the canopy, surrounded by leaves, roots, and the quiet hum of life. Each inhalation is a connection, each exhalation a gift. The forest continues to breathe around you, within you, and through you. Its breath is steady, gentle, and eternal, carrying you toward rest, toward dreams, toward the gentle awakening of morning. Rest now, cradled in this rhythm. The forest breathes. You breathe. The world continues, endlessly, patiently, quietly. And in this shared respiration, there is comfort, peace, and the assurance that life persists, that green life, with its ceaseless breath, is always present to hold, nourish, and sustain you. Close your eyes and imagine the world as a vast orchestra. Each leaf, each blade of grass, each drop of water, each breath of air, each heartbeat, and each flicker of sunlight is an instrument. Some play loud, some play soft, but all together create a symphony that has been performed for billions of years. Tonight, you are both audience and participant, cradled in the gentle rhythm of life itself. Life, at its core, is a network of interactions, cycles, and exchanges. From the tiniest microbe to the tallest tree, from the shallowest pond to the deepest ocean, every living thing contributes to this symphony. Each molecule of sugar, each photon of light captured by chlorophyll, each exhale of oxygen, each pulse of energy in your cells, all are notes in this grand composition. Think of a single tree, rooted deep in soil. Its leaves shimmer with sunlight, transforming photons into sugar. Its roots drink water, drawing nutrients, sharing them with fungi in the soil. Birds perch upon its branches, insects crawl along its bark, and microbes live unseen in the soil below. The tree does not act alone, it is an instrument in a greater orchestra, each interaction a chord in the harmony of life. And now, think of your own body. Every heartbeat, every breath, every thought, every tiny chemical reaction is part of this same symphony. The ATP coursing through your cells is the rhythm section, the sugars are the melody, and the oxygen you inhale adds the resonance. You are not separate from life, you are a living instrument, performing alongside trees, oceans, and the winds of the world. Notice how the symphony is quiet. It is not abrupt or loud. It does not demand attention. It flows gently, ceaselessly, persistently, without fanfare. Yet its presence is undeniable. You feel it in the steadiness of your breath, the warmth of your body, the calm rhythm of your thoughts. This quiet is its own form of beauty, an assurance that life continues, endlessly and patiently. Consider the cycles that create this music. Carbon flows from air to leaf to animal and back again, creating a gentle, repeated motif. Water moves from soil to plant to atmosphere, a flowing counterpoint that sustains forests and rivers. Sunlight is captured, transformed, passed through sugars, and spent as energy, a luminous theme weaving through all living things. Each cycle repeats, overlaps, and harmonizes with others, creating complexity and depth while maintaining an unbroken continuity. The symphony is also adaptive. Seasons change, day turns to night, sunlight shifts its angle, rains come and go. Life adjusts. Trees shed leaves, rivers swell, animals migrate, seeds wait patiently in the soil. The music changes tempo and tone, but it never stops. This adaptability is one of its most gentle lessons, that life, even in uncertainty, can continue with grace and rhythm. Now imagine the oceans. Tiny phytoplankton capture sunlight, produce oxygen, and form the base of marine food chains. Whales glide through water, feeding on tiny creatures, contributing their own cycles of carbon and energy. Coral reefs pulse with life, each organism performing its part in this watery ensemble. Even the smallest microorganisms are musicians, playing notes essential to the harmony of the planet. Everywhere you look, life connects. A bee gathers nectar, spreading pollen between flowers, sustaining both plants and its hive. The wind carries seeds across distances, allowing forests to grow in new places. The rain nourishes the soil, allowing grass and trees to thrive. Each action, though small, contributes to the larger music. Nothing exists in isolation, the symphony relies on connection, on collaboration, on shared purpose. Even night participates. While you rest, nocturnal creatures move quietly through forests, pollinating flowers, feeding on seeds, maintaining cycles that continue the music in darkness. Plants continue respiration, water continues to cycle, stars above send photons that will one day touch leaves. The symphony does not sleep, it simply changes its instruments, shifts its tone, and waits for the dawn to reintroduce light, warmth, and energy. Think about your own breath again. Inhale slowly, feel the oxygen moving into your lungs, flowing through your blood, nourishing your cells. Exhale gently, releasing carbon dioxide, which may one day feed a leaf in a forest. Your body is not just a vessel, it is part of this symphony, a living note in an eternal song, a participant in cycles far larger than yourself. Life's quiet music also teaches patience. A seed does not sprout instantly, a tree does not reach the sky overnight. Photosynthesis takes moments to capture sunlight, centuries to build forests. Ecosystems evolve, recover, and adapt over years, decades, millennia. Your own life mirrors this tempo. Growth, healing, and learning are gradual processes, flowing within the rhythm of time, guided by forces often unseen, yet ever present. Now, let the imagery expand. Picture yourself lying in a meadow. Sunlight filters through leaves above. A gentle breeze carries the scent of earth and grass. A bird sings softly in the distance, a stream murmurs nearby, and the light itself seems to pulse in harmony with your heartbeat. You are immersed in the symphony, a single note among billions, yet essential, recognized in the music of life. Notice the repetition, the overlapping patterns, the quiet interweaving of cycles. Just as a melody returns again and again in a piece of music, so do carbon, water, oxygen, and energy return, cycle, and renew. The quiet repetition is comforting. It reassures that life is stable, persistent, and eternal. You can rest in that continuity, knowing that the world is supported by countless rhythms, all harmonized into a gentle, sustaining song. As sleep draws near, let the symphony guide you. Imagine the world as an orchestra in soft, steady motion. The forests, oceans, skies, and fields are instruments. Sunlight, water, air, and carbon are notes. Your breath, your heartbeat, your thoughts are part of this music. Even as you drift into dreams, the symphony plays on, ceaselessly, tenderly, infinitely. And remember, you are both listener and musician. The quiet harmony of life surrounds you, moves through you, and connects you to everything that has lived, that lives now, and that will live in the future. Each breath you take is a participation in the music, each thought, each heartbeat, each moment a note in the ongoing score. Tonight, let yourself be carried by this quiet symphony. Feel its gentle pulse, its patient rhythm, its enduring presence. You are supported, nourished, cradled by life itself. The music of the world is vast, eternal, and tender. Let it lull you toward rest, toward dreams, toward a peaceful, renewing sleep. The orchestra of life plays on. Leaves sway, roots draw water, rivers flow, winds whisper, stars shine. And you, small yet infinite, drift within its harmony, safe and sustained, a part of the quiet symphony of life.